Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater, something beyond the ordinary life that most people seem content with? Have you found yourself walking through life, seemingly out of sync with the world around you, unsure why you don't quite fit in? If this resonates with you, then it's no accident that you're here. There is a reason why you've always felt this way. Today, we're going to explore the powerful, hidden truth about why you are different and why that difference is a gift, not a curse. For years, you may have believed you were just an outsider, someone who didn't belong. Maybe you've been misunderstood, rejected, or felt as though your talents and potential went unnoticed. But what if I told you that all of this, the isolation, the rejections, the moments when you felt overlooked, was actually preparing you for something monumental? You were never meant to fit in. And here's why: you are chosen. You are one of the rare few who possess the ability to disrupt the status quo, to create change in ways that others simply cannot see. This sense of being chosen is not about being special in the conventional sense. It's about your ability to awaken, to rise above, and to shift the world around you. You have been placed in this moment, in this reality, for a purpose. You are not here by accident. In fact, every step you've taken, every challenge you've faced, has been part of a bigger plan. A divine plan designed to prepare you for your role as a disruptor, a catalyst for transformation. The world needs your unique energy, your perspective, and the power you bring to it. And understanding that you are, indeed, chosen is the first step toward embracing your full potential. The unseen path, why you never fit in. From an early age, you probably noticed something that set you apart from others. Maybe it was the way you saw the world differently, or the way you felt like you just didn't belong in the spaces you were placed. You tried to fit in, you really did. But it was never enough. You couldn't make the pieces fit, no matter how hard you tried. And that's because you were never meant to fit in. You are not meant to blend into the background or accept the world as it is. I know what you're thinking, but why do I feel so isolated? Why do I feel like I don't belong, even when I'm surrounded by people? It's a question I asked myself for years. I remember growing up in a world where everyone seemed to know their place, their role, and their purpose. They were content with the status quo, accepting the paths laid before them without question. But for me, every step I took felt like I was walking a road less traveled, a road that others couldn't see or understand. You may have been told countless times that you're too much or too different. People might have tried to put you into boxes that didn't fit, labeling you as a dreamer, an idealist, or someone who was out of touch with reality. But what they didn't understand was that you weren't failing at fitting in, you were outgrowing the limitations of the world they lived in. The truth is, your path was always going to be different. And it's precisely because of that difference that you are capable of doing things others simply can't. You're not broken, and you're not an outsider. You are a pioneer, and pioneers don't fit in. The discomfort you've felt throughout your life, the moments of doubt, are simply signs that you are evolving in a way that most people never will. Your path was always meant to be unseen by others because it's a path that leads to greatness. You were never supposed to blend into the ordinary. You were destined to create a new reality. Overqualification, a blessing in disguise. Let's talk about overqualification for a moment. Have you ever been told you were too qualified for something? Maybe it was a job you applied for or a position you were considered for, but somehow they chose someone else, someone less qualified. I've been there, and I can tell you that being overqualified is not a curse, it's a blessing. When I was younger, I struggled with the fact that I wasn't chosen for roles I knew I was capable of. I had the skills, the experience, and the drive to succeed, but I was overlooked. At first, I felt rejected. I questioned my worth and wondered why I wasn't enough. But in hindsight, I realized that those missed opportunities were never a reflection of my abilities. They were redirections. Being overqualified means that you are operating at a level that most people can't even comprehend. You are ahead of the curve, and the world isn't ready for someone like you yet. That's why you've faced rejection, not because you lack anything, but because you overwhelm what others have built. Your potential is too vast to be confined to the small boxes they try to put you in. Think about it, you were never meant to fit into the narrow confines of traditional roles. You have been prepared for something far greater, something that requires your unique perspective, your elevated skills, and your ability to see beyond what is visible to most people. While others may find comfort in mediocrity, you were designed to transcend it. So, next time someone tells you that you're overqualified, take it as the compliment it truly is. You are meant for more than the ordinary. Your path is one of greatness, and those rejections are simply the universe's way of telling you that there's something better waiting for you, something that aligns with the magnitude of your potential. Redirection, the universe's plan for you. Have you ever felt that deep sense of loss when an opportunity slipped through your fingers? Maybe it was a job, a relationship, or a dream that you poured your heart into, only for it to fade away. I know that feeling well. The pain, the frustration, and the disappointment of losing something that felt so right, only to find yourself standing there with nothing but questions. But here's the truth. What you lost was never meant for you. The universe has a way of redirecting us to where we truly belong, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. When I look back on my own journey, I can see how the doors that closed were always leading me towards something greater. Those losses, those rejections, they were all part of a bigger plan, a plan I couldn't see at the time. Each failure you experience is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply the universe making sure you don't settle for less than you deserve. The opportunities that slip away are not losses, but redirections toward your true path. And while it's painful to watch something you wanted slip through your fingers, trust that what's meant for you will never pass you by. When you can learn to embrace this idea, to accept that rejection is simply a form of redirection, something beautiful happens. You begin to trust the process. You stop forcing things to work that aren't meant for you, and you start waiting patiently for the doors that are meant to open for you. The universe has a plan for you, and while it might not always look the way you imagined, it will always lead you exactly where you need to go. The power of spiritual detachment. You are not meant to settle. Spiritual detachment is not about disconnecting from the world. It's about releasing your attachment to outcomes, to people, and to things that no longer serve your higher purpose. For years, I struggled with this idea. I was always trying to hold on to people, places, and opportunities that I thought would bring me fulfillment. But as I grew spiritually, I realized that detachment is not a loss, it's a gain. You see, the more we attach ourselves to things, the more we limit our potential. Attachment keeps us tied to the past, to expectations, and to comforts that hold us back from true growth. Detachment, on the other hand, frees us to move forward, to embrace change, and to step into the unknown with confidence. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that the universe will guide you where you need to go. For the longest time, I held on to relationships and situations that were comfortable, even though I knew deep down they weren't meant for me. But once I learned the power of spiritual detachment, everything shifted. I became more open to new possibilities, more willing to embrace uncertainty, and more aligned with my true purpose. You are not meant to settle into the mold that others have created for you. You are here to disrupt, to change, and to transform the world around you. And in order to do that, you must detach from the things that no longer serve your higher purpose. This doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities or your relationships. It means releasing your attachment to outcomes and trusting that what's meant for you will find its way to you. Awakening others, your role as a disruptor. You are not just here to live your life, you are here to awaken others. Your very presence is a catalyst for change, a spark that ignites transformation in those around you. Have you ever noticed how people react to you when you walk into a room? Sometimes it feels like you're shaking things up without even trying. That's because you are a disruptor, and disruptors are meant to create ripples in the lives of others. I used to wonder why people seemed so uneasy around me. I didn't always fit in, and I often felt like I was misunderstood. But then I realized something. My presence alone was challenging their reality, forcing them to confront parts of themselves they'd rather avoid. This wasn't something I was consciously doing. It was simply the energy I brought into the space. Your role as a disruptor is not to make people comfortable. It's to awaken them to the possibilities they've been ignoring, to shake them out of their complacency and encourage them to see life from a different perspective. And this isn't always easy. People will resist change, especially when it forces them to confront their own limitations. But that's your purpose, to challenge them, to disrupt their patterns, and to awaken their true potential. When you step into someone's life, you don't need to say a word. Your energy alone will stir something within them, and while they may not understand it right away, they will eventually be forced to face the truth you've awakened in them. You are not here to make friends or to be liked. You are here to change the world, one life at a time. The gifts you bring, catalysts for growth. Have you ever noticed how people react to you when you walk into a room? It's as if something shifts, an energy change that not everyone can explain. Some may feel uneasy, others may be inexplicably drawn to you, and some might even seem to avoid you. At first, I didn't understand it either. But now I see it clearly. The energy you bring is a catalyst for growth, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. You are not just a bystander in this world. You are a force that activates the dormant potential in everyone you encounter. I remember a time when I was working in a corporate setting. Every day, I'd go into the office with the same mindset, to do my job, interact with my colleagues, and move through the motions like everyone else. But it wasn't long before I noticed something unusual. My colleagues would approach me, not just for work-related issues, but for advice, for clarity, for some kind of spark that they couldn't seem to find elsewhere. At first, I didn't get it. I was just doing my job, going through the same struggles as everyone else. But then I realized something. Without even trying, I was helping others see things in a different light. I was sparking their curiosity, pushing them to think bigger, to be bolder. This wasn't about giving them answers. It was about showing them new possibilities, helping them break free from the mental boxes they had confined themselves to. The truth is, your very presence stirs something in others. You're not here to simply exist in the same spaces as everyone else. You are meant to activate change, to open eyes, and to challenge perspectives. The gifts you bring are often subtle, but they are powerful. Sometimes, you won't even realize the depth of the impact you've made until much later. But trust me when I say this, your influence is far-reaching. You ignite something in others, even in the quietest of moments, just by being yourself. Those around you may not always know why they feel compelled to make changes in their own lives, but you're the reason behind it. You plant seeds, create sparks, and open doors to new worlds they had never imagined. That is the gift you bring, a catalyst for growth. It's not about forcing change. It's about being the spark that encourages others to evolve at their own pace. This role can be exhausting at times. After all, not everyone is ready for change, and some people may resist the growth you so naturally bring into their lives. But remember, growth is a personal journey, and just because someone doesn't immediately acknowledge the change you've sparked doesn't mean it isn't happening. Stay true to who you are and continue to bring your gifts into the world, because you are the catalyst for transformation. And even when it feels like your efforts go unnoticed, know that the seeds you've planted are growing, slowly but surely, in ways you can't yet see. The unseen forces behind you, spiritual guidance and alignment. There's something powerful happening behind the scenes in your life, something you may not always see, but can certainly feel. It's like the universe is quietly orchestrating your every step, guiding you through the highs and lows, ensuring that you stay on the path that's meant for you. I know because I've felt it. For most of my life, I didn't realize the extent of the spiritual guidance I had been receiving. It wasn't until I took a step back and really started paying attention that I noticed the subtle signs, the synchronicities, and the unmistakable push I felt when I needed it most. I remember a time when I was at a crossroads in my life. I was stuck in a job that didn't fulfill me, surrounded by people who didn't understand my true potential. I felt lost and unsure of my next steps. But just when I was on the verge of giving up, I had an unexpected conversation with a stranger. This person spoke to me in a way that awakened something deep inside me, a part of me that I had forgotten about. It was in that moment that I realized something incredible. I wasn't alone in my journey. There were unseen forces guiding me, helping me find my way, even when I didn't know where to go. You may not always see them, but these spiritual forces are with you every step of the way. Whether you call them angels, guides, or simply the universe, they are always working behind the scenes to ensure that you stay aligned with your purpose. And while the path may not always be clear, trust that the signs are there if you're willing to pay attention. Sometimes, the guidance comes in the form of a book that falls into your hands, a conversation that shifts your perspective, or an opportunity that appears out of nowhere. Other times, it may be a subtle feeling, an intuitive nudge, or a deep knowing that you are being guided towards something greater. These unseen forces are not there to control you. They are there to help you remember your true path. They provide the guidance you need to make decisions, to take risks, and to step into the unknown with confidence. But they won't force you. They simply offer support, nudging you in the right direction and trusting that you will follow the signs. The more you trust in these spiritual forces, the more you will align with your true purpose. Your life isn't a series of random events. It's a carefully crafted journey designed by forces far greater than you can comprehend. So the next time you feel lost or unsure, take a moment to tune in. Trust that you are being guided, even when the way seems unclear. The unseen forces behind you are always there, ensuring that you walk the path you were meant to take. The journey of remembering who you are. Have you ever had a moment where everything seemed to click, where suddenly you remembered something important about yourself, something that had been buried beneath layers of doubt, fear, and societal expectations? That moment of realization is often called awakening, but in truth, it's not so much about discovering something new as it is about remembering who you've always been. I remember a time when I was caught up in the hustle of life, trying to meet others' expectations and fit into roles that didn't resonate with my true self. I felt lost, like I was living someone else's life. But then, slowly, I began to remember. It was as if a veil lifted from my eyes, and I started to see myself more clearly. I realized that the person I had been searching for wasn't someone I needed to become. It was the person I had always been, waiting to be rediscovered. This is the journey you are on, the journey of remembering who you truly are. It's not about becoming something you're not. It's about shedding the layers of conditioning, fear, and self-doubt that have kept you from your true power. As you move through life, you may encounter moments of confusion, moments when you question your purpose or feel disconnected from your true self. But I want you to understand something important. These moments are part of the process. They are not signs that you are lost, but rather that you are being guided back to who you truly are. When you begin to remember, everything changes. You start to recognize the truth within you, and you realize that you've always had the answers. It's like waking up from a long sleep and seeing the world with fresh eyes. This journey of remembrance is one of the most powerful experiences you will ever have, and it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to let go of everything that no longer serves you. But the more you remember, the more you will step into your true power and purpose. Trust that the person you are becoming is simply the person you were always meant to be. Understanding your power, the importance of moving between worlds. Have you ever felt like you exist in multiple realities at once? As if you're not just living in the world you see, but also in a deeper, more profound space that most people don't even realize exists. This is the experience of moving between worlds, and it's a powerful part of your journey. I've felt this sensation many times in my life. I'll be in a conversation with someone, and suddenly, I'll feel like I'm not just there in the room. I'm also connected to something much larger. It's as if my consciousness is expanded, and I can see beyond the surface of what's happening, tapping into deeper layers of understanding. This ability to move between worlds is a unique power that you possess. It's the ability to navigate both the physical and the spiritual realms, to live in this world while also being connected to a higher truth. And it's not something that everyone experiences. Many people are so grounded in the material world that they don't even notice the deeper dimensions around them. But you are different. You have the capacity to see beyond the veil, to understand things that others cannot. This ability to move between worlds is a crucial part of your spiritual journey. It allows you to bring insights from the higher realms into the physical world, helping you to navigate challenges, create change, and transform the lives of those around you. But it also requires balance. When you move between worlds, it's easy to feel disconnected from the everyday reality most people live in. You may sometimes feel like you don't belong or that the world around you doesn't make sense. But remember, you are here to bridge the gap between the spiritual and the physical. Your power lies in your ability to navigate both worlds with grace, to bring wisdom from the higher realms into the everyday experience. The more you embrace this power, the more you will understand the depth of your purpose. You are not just living in one reality, you are living in many, and your role is to bring them all together in alignment. When you can learn to move between worlds with ease, you will unlock a level of understanding and power that few will ever experience. Trust in your ability to navigate these realms and use your unique perspective to bring healing and transformation to the world. While you can't stay, the essence of leaving before the change fully manifests. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you had done all that you could, and then, just as things started to shift, you had to leave? I've been there more times than I can count, and it's always been an uncomfortable experience, especially when you've invested so much into something. I remember the first time I realized that I was meant to leave before the change fully manifested. I was involved in a project that had so much potential. I poured my heart into it, guided the team, and watched as we started seeing the first signs of success. But there came a moment when I had to step away. It wasn't that the project was failing, it was that it was time for me to let go. It was time for the seeds I had planted to take root and grow without my direct involvement. The decision to leave felt unnatural at first. I wanted to stay and see it all through, to witness the full fruits of our labor. But deep down, I knew that my staying would disrupt the natural flow of things. It was as though the universe was telling me that my role in this chapter was complete. I had brought what I needed to bring, and now it was time for others to take over and continue the work. The truth is, you can't stay in a place where your presence is stifling the evolution that is meant to take place. Sometimes, leaving before the change fully manifests is the most powerful thing you can do. When you leave, you create the space for others to rise and fill the void with their own energy, their own creativity. You free them from your influence, allowing them to discover their own potential and take ownership of what you started. And that's the essence of your role as a disruptor. You spark change, you initiate transformation, but you don't cling to it. You understand that your work is done when you've set the wheels of change in motion. Staying longer would only interfere with the natural progression of what has been set in motion. It's not about abandoning the process, it's about trusting that the work you've done is enough. And when you leave with the knowing that you've ignited a fire that will continue to burn long after you've walked away. Embrace this part of your journey. Understand that your role isn't to control or cling to the outcomes, but to bring about the necessary disruption and step back, letting others step up and carry the change forward. The awakening is for everyone, your role in the collective evolution. Have you ever had that feeling of being awake while the world around you seems to be in a deep slumber? It's a strange sensation, isn't it? I remember when I first felt like I was stepping into a new level of awareness. I had spent years trying to fit into the mold that society had created for me, but one day, everything just shifted. Suddenly, I saw the world differently. The things I once thought were important, money, success, approval, no longer held the same weight. What mattered now was awakening, not just for myself, but for others. I realized then that the awakening I was experiencing wasn't just for me. It was part of something much larger, a collective evolution that we're all a part of. The awakening is for everyone, not just the chosen ones. And your role in this awakening is more powerful than you might think. You are a catalyst, a spark that ignites the fire of transformation in others. But what does that mean exactly? It means that your energy, your presence, your actions, and your words are part of the grand cosmic dance that is waking up the world. You are helping others see what they've been blind to, hear what they've been deaf to, and feel what they've been numb to. Your journey isn't just about your own growth, it's about the collective. When you wake up, you help others wake up too. You challenge the norms, you question the status quo, and you provide an example of what it means to live authentically. This isn't always easy. In fact, it's often uncomfortable. People are afraid of change, and when you begin to awaken, you might find that the world around you becomes resistant. People may push back, they may question your beliefs, and they may even judge you. But that's part of the process. When you awaken, you disrupt the illusions that others are holding onto. You show them that there is another way, and even if they resist at first, even if they try to cling to the old ways, your presence will eventually force them to confront the truth. Your role in the collective evolution is essential. You are not here to live in isolation or to keep your awakening to yourself. You are here to share it, to help others see the light, to encourage them to step out of the darkness. The more you embrace your awakening, the more you help others awaken. And together, you create a ripple effect that transforms the world. So don't shy away from your role. Step into it fully, knowing that your awakening is not just for you, it's for all of us. Trust the process. The universe conspires in your favor. I've always been someone who likes to have control. I like to know exactly where I'm going, how I'm going to get there, and when I'll arrive. But there was one time in my life when I realized that the more I tried to control, the more things seemed to slip out of my hands. I remember a period when everything felt like it was falling apart. Nothing was going the way I had planned. My career was stagnating, my relationships were strained, and I couldn't seem to catch a break. I was frustrated, angry, and confused. I tried everything I could think of to fix things, pushing harder, working longer, forcing outcomes, but nothing worked. It was only when I finally surrendered, when I stopped trying to control the situation, that everything began to shift. I realized that the universe was always conspiring in my favor. It was just that I wasn't allowing it to work its magic. The process I was resisting was the very thing I needed to trust. And that's the lesson I want to share with you today. Trust the process. Life isn't a series of random events. It's a carefully designed sequence of moments, all leading you exactly where you need to be. Even when things don't make sense, even when it feels like everything is falling apart, the universe is still at work behind the scenes. It's easy to get caught up in the frustration and fear of not knowing what's next. But when you trust that the universe has a plan for you, everything falls into place. The more you let go of your need to control, the more the universe can align everything for you. You may not see it right now, but every challenge, every setback, every moment of confusion is part of the greater plan. So trust that you are always being guided, even when the path isn't clear. Trust that the universe is working in your favor, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You are not alone in this journey. The universe is conspiring to bring you the opportunities, the people, and the experiences you need to fulfill your purpose. All you need to do is trust the process and allow it to work in your favor. Conclusion: embrace your role as a spiritual disruptor. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to take a moment and really reflect on everything we've discussed. I want you to see yourself for who you truly are, a spiritual disruptor. You are not here to fit in, to follow the crowd, or to conform to the expectations of others. You are here to break the rules, to challenge the status quo, and to awaken others to their own potential. You've always known that you are different. You've felt the pull to do something greater, something that transcends the ordinary. And now, it's time to fully embrace your role. This journey hasn't always been easy. There have been times when you felt lost, confused, and misunderstood. But through it all, you've continued to rise. You've continued to push forward, to challenge yourself, and to disrupt the world around you. And now it's time for you to own your power. Embrace your role as a spiritual disruptor. Step into your purpose with confidence, knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Your presence has the power to create change, to awaken those around you, and to shift the very fabric of reality. You are a force for good in this world. And it's time to let that energy flow freely. No more hiding, no more shrinking. It's time to disrupt, to awaken, and to lead the way for others to follow. This is your mission, your purpose, and your gift to the world. Embrace it fully and watch as you change the world in ways you never thought possible. You are the chosen one, and your time is now.